It's a new hop from one of my new up-and-coming breweries. This is Quantock Brewery, and this is a single hop pale obsessed with Harlequin. Harlequin hop, what's it all about? Keep on watching to find out. Welcome back to Rocker's Beer Review. This is the second beer from Quantock Brewery that I bought, and this is part of their Obsessed series. Now I've had an Obsessed with Nelson Sauvin, but I didn't review it, and I've seen other Obsessed. I think they've got Obsessed with Mosaic as well. I'm not sure what the other ones are, but this is a single hop pale at 4.5%. using a Harlequin hop. Now, I don't know much about Harlequin. I think, maybe I have had that before, but no, I've had Jester, a bit similar to Harlequin. But from my understanding, that Harlequin is a British hop, and it says here, this English hop has flavours of peach, pineapple and passion fruit, all the P's basically. So let's crack this beer open, get it in glass and see what Harlequin is all about. I mean, we don't see Harlequin really anywhere else. It's not like one of those hops that you get mixed with other stuff. So maybe this is one that's going to be up and coming over the next sort of year or so. So let's see what it's all about. Well, it's fairly light. Look a bit darker in the screen here, but to me it is very light. Lots of carbonation sticking to the glass there. See that there? I mean, it is a pale ale. We've got 2 fingers of sort of soapy white head. You can see the bubbles there in the actual head itself. It's got a haze to it, but it's still fairly light. You can't really see through it, but it's not a thick yellow and hazy sort of look to it. So it's quite yellow, quite pale, looks like it's going to be pineapple-y, I think. So let's see what the aroma's like. Well, it's like there's lots of sort of citrusy sort of notes on the aroma. I'm not really picking up passion fruit or peach or a bit of pineapple. There is pineapple, and it's a bit more sort of like a fresh pineapple chunk. So I reckon it's going to be quite a nice, refreshing beer. So let's see what it tastes like. Cheers, everyone. Yeah, that's a real light, refreshing sort of beer. It's got quite a lot of carbonation there. It's a little bit fizzy, but you know, we can get that with pale ales, but it's a real thirst quencher, this one. Flavours are sort of there. There's a lot of citrus flavours I'm getting. With little hints of pineapple, hints of passion fruit, hints of peach. I don't know whether it's because I read the can, it said peach, and I'm thinking, I'm looking for the peach, but to me, it's a lot of citrus fruits, very zesty and lemony. There's a little bit of sort of subtle grapefruit coming in on the back end. But this, I mean, it's another beer that you want to be drinking in the summer months. It's so refreshing. It's got that sort of nice cutting sharpness to it that really sort of cuts through the palate and really sort of almost cleanses it. But it's a one of those beers that you could just sink loads. Yeah, that's lovely. I mean, although I said there's a bit of carbonation, there's an element of a softness in there as well, though. It's quite smooth the way that it goes down. There's a nice bit of carbonation that sort of almost zings that flavour around the mouth. But when it sort of goes down the throat, it feels quite smooth. It's a great beer. I mean, I have gushed a little bit about Quantock, but I think it's, for me, their water profile is very, very good. And this is no exception. Not as soft as the IPAs that I've had, but there's something about the water that makes it, it tastes like very pure, if that makes any sense. Even though you get all these sort of citrusy flavours in there, which is, to me, the big flavour is the citrus. It tastes so fresh, so crisp. It's almost like, a mineral water sort of, flavour in terms of the water profile. There's no sort of funny flavours. There's none of that sort of can flavour. There's nothing, no sort of funny sort of twangs to it. And to be honest, a lot of beers, certainly the ones that I've had, cheap beers from, say, like Beer 52 or little sort of smaller unknown breweries that I've picked up from the bottle shop and haven't necessarily reviewed them and drank them and thought, something not quite there with this. What is it? Is it and to me, I think it's a lot about the water quality. The water quality with Quantock is very good. And again, is that because, you know, if you look at the breweries that I think are really good in terms of the mouthfeel, you're looking at the Verdant, you're looking at Daya. They're all down that sort of southwest corridor. You know, they stretch from Bristol into Somerset, Devon and Cornwall. They make really good the water profile in their beers is really good and really sort of, I think, brings them up a level compared with some of the other beers that we've had. I think, you know, I'm sure with any sort of beer, the ingredients is really important, and the water, you know, you've got to think a lot of this beer is made up of water. So if you get the water right, everything else should fall into place. Got some lovely sort of lacing of the glass there. I think it actually looks pretty good. You've got the nice sort of retained head. This is exactly what I want from a pale ale. It's not as sort of thick and gloopy, goes down really well, but still full of really nice citrusy flavours. As I said, I'm not really picking up that the peach and passion fruit, maybe a little bit of peach and passion fruit, but for me it's big on citrus. There's a sort of slightly earthiness coming in, and I think and the grapefruit, slight bitterness, not big on the bitterness, but there's a slight bitterness, rounds the beer off and just makes it more drinkable. You know, it doesn't just sort of wash away. It has some sort of bite on the back end. A great beer. Quantock Brewery, definitely give them a try. I'm looking forward to see what they're going to release this year, but everything I've had from them is good, so give them a go. Let's get some scores. Okay, the scores are in for Obsessed with Harlequin. It's a single hop pale using Harlequin hops. It's from Quantock Brewery. They're based in Taunton in Somerset. Great brewery, by the way. But let's go through the scores. So firstly, the aroma. Well, I mean, for a pale, it's some nice sort of citrusy notes. I'm getting a little bit more peach and pineapple as well. That pineapple is so subtle. There's almost like little pockets of pineapple that comes into it, but really makes it a nice aroma. So I'm giving it a 13 out of 20 for aroma. Appearance. Well, again, I think it looks, for a pale ale, it's great. I love the lacing of the glass. Look at this. It's, you know, the head is well retained, really. And it's a nice, bright yellow, slightly cloudy. I'd almost call it cloudy more than hazy, you know, if there was a description. It's very light looking, but I think it looks good. So I'm giving it a 9 out of 10. Flavour-wise. Well, like the aroma, I get more citrusy notes. Lemons and limes, a little bit of grapefruit, a little bit more earthiness on the back end, going to a sort of grapefruit, slight bitterness. And then you get these little pockets of sweetness of pineapple. Peach and passion fruit, I think, are not quite there. If there's anything that is, it's the little pockets of pineapple. But again, the profile is pretty good. You know, when I first felt, I thought it was a bit carbonated, but now it's been sitting in the glass, actually, it's quite soft. And I think the water profile is excellent on this beer. Goes down pretty well. It's a very easy to drink, but still full of really nice flavour. So I'm giving it 34 for flavour. Value for money. Well, this one was about £3.40. So I think that's, you know, when you think this is on, you know, the sort of price is not much more than supermarket prices. But for me, I think it's a step up. So I'm giving it 9 out of 10 for value. And then my overall experience. Well, if you like pale ales, I mean, yeah, maybe January isn't the time to be drinking pale ales, just to be drinking your sort of strong, you know, your stronger, thicker, darker sort of beers. But, you know, I still love pale ales. I mean, pale ale like this, yes, it's refreshing, but there's a lot of juice flavours in there, lots of the citrus, bits of pineapple. It just is a very easy drinking, sessionable sort of beer. It's a sort of beer that I would like to drink 3 or 4 of. I mean, there's a lot of beers that I like having one and then I think, yeah, I want to have something different. But this is a sort of beer that I could drink 2 or 3 of these. I would love to drink this sort of beer on draft because I think it'd be brilliant. So My overall experience, I think, he's up there with some of the best pale ales. 16, I'm giving it for overall experience. Totting those scores up, I'm quite surprised, but we're getting 81. I don't know if I've had a pale ale that's usually that high, but this is a good pale ale. So again, you know, I did have the obsessed with Nelson Sauvin. If you like Nelson Sauvin hop, then that was really good as well. This is just a little bit more fruitier. The pineapple is coming more and more into it the more I drink it. I should have bought more of them actually, because it's just a very good drink that you want to drink a couple of them, and I think the flavors are starting to come out more. 81. This is Harlequin hop. I mean, it's interesting. I mean, does it taste like... It's not... I don't think it's really given me anything different. It's giving that sort of citrus, you know, like a Citra hop does. There's a little bit, and it's almost like got a little bit of earthiness in there as well, as if it's got a little bit of Citra and say mosaic in it. And then you're getting these little dashes of pineapple. So you know, maybe your brew one or your those sort of hops that give that pineapple profile. So it's almost like a combination. It works really well on its own. I'm surprised we don't see more of it. I mean, the British hops don't get... I mean, there's loads of these British hops. The Jester. I mean, the ones that I had from Buxton, they did all different types of British hops. We don't see much of those British hops. And this is a very good beer. And it's very refreshing and summery, which not always you associate with the sort of British hops as much. It's a great beer. Harlequin. If you've ever, let me know if you've had a beer with Harlequin in, because I've not seen any others, but you know, maybe this will be the year of Harlequin. We'll sort of come up more and more. Great beer. 81 out of 100. Job's a good one. So I hope you've enjoyed this review. I hope you enjoy these Quantock beers that we've had. And if you like the channel, please give it a thumbs up. I always ask that on all my channels. You know, if you do like it, comment away. You know, more comments the better. I really like to hear what you think of beers. You know, whether you've had other Quantock beers, whether you've had beers with Harlequin. What do you think about single hop? I mean, I could talk about single hop beers against beers with multiple hops all day long. You know, my preference is a blend more than one, but this works really well. There's lots of different flavour in it. So I've whittled on enough. Hope you've enjoyed it. And until the next one, keep on rocking.